Consistency doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need applause. It's not about grand gestures. It's about quietly showing up when nobody's cheering. It's that gym session when you are sore, that meeting you attend even when you are tired. You don't need a crowd to build success. You need a habit of showing up. People underestimate how powerful doing the same small action every day can be. They want explosive results overnight, but they forget that explosions don't build, they destroy. Success is built brick by brick, small efforts compounded over time. Consistency is that invisible hand that keeps stacking those bricks even when progress feels invisible. The problem is people quit because they don't see instant results. They expect 1 week of effort to undo years of bad habits. But consistency plays a long game. It doesn't reward impatience. It rewards those who understand that real change is slow, deliberate, and relentless. Every time you choose to show up, you are sending a message to your future self. I'm serious about this. It's not about being perfect. You will miss days. You will have setbacks, but consistency doesn't demand perfection. It demands you come back. Most people look for motivation to stay consistent, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. You need a system, not a mood. You need a routine that triggers action even when you're not feeling it. Consistency thrives in systems, not in feelings. You will know you are on the right path when your actions become non-negotiable, when you don't need to convince yourself to do it. You just do it. That's when consistency starts working its magic. That's when results start silently stacking up behind the scenes. The thing about consistency is that it won't give you overnight fireworks. It will give you quiet, compounding wins that over time make you unstoppable. Success won't be loud. One day PL. People will just look at you and wonder how you got so far. You will know it was consistency. Everybody feels hyped when they set goals. At the beginning, it's easy to be excited. You are pumped, you are visualizing success, and you are making promises to yourself. But discipline kicks in when that initial excitement wears off. When the mood is gone, the commitment better still be there. You are not going to feel like chasing your goals every day. That's reality. There will be mornings when the bed feels warmer than your dreams. There will be evenings where distractions feel more appealing than progress. This is where discipline shows its face. It shows up when you don't want to. Discipline is keeping the promise you made to yourself when nobody else cares. It's being loyal to the future you envisioned, even when your present emotions don't align. It's refusing to negotiate with yourself when the only person who will know you slacked off is you. You want to build something great? Stop waiting to feel like it. Feelings are fickle. Discipline is the iron chain that pulls you through days of doubt, fatigue, and laziness. It doesn't ask how you feel. It demands action anyway. Discipline doesn't live in motivation. It lives in routines. You want to be disciplined? Build a routine so solid that it drags you forward even on your worst days. Discipline is what turns actions into habits and habits into a lifestyle. People think successful individuals have more willpower. They don't. They just decided to make discipline non-negotiable. They created systems where excuses don't survive. You can either be a slave to your feelings or a master of your discipline. When you operate with discipline, you don't have to rely on daily motivation hits. You become a machine that moves regardless of emotion. That's where success begins, not in hype, but in the gritty, disciplined grind when nobody's watching. The way you see life is the way life will show up for you. If your mindset is wired for problems, that's all you will see. But if you wire your mind to see possibilities, challenges start looking like opportunities. Your external life is just a reflection of your internal programming. You can't expect life to treat you like a winner if you think like a loser. Mindset is the root. Skills, habits, and strategies are the branches. Get the root wrong and the whole tree withers. Get the root right and you will bear fruit even in drought seasons. Mindset is not a luxury, it's survival. If your mindset is weak, life will eat you alive. Every obstacle will feel like a wall. But if your mindset is strong, those walls become hurdles you leap over. Life isn't waiting to be easy. It's waiting for you to toughen up mentally. Your mind listens to your self-talk. If you keep feeding it garbage like, I can't, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, it will believe you. But if you start feeding it powerful affirmations, vision, and self-belief, it will rise to that narrative. You are the programmer. Mindset isn't built in books or quotes. It's built in battles. You forge a strong mindset by walking through fire and refusing to break. You train it daily by controlling your reactions, fighting negativity, and pushing back against comfort. Life will always test your mindset. The question is, will you respond like a victim or a warrior? Mindset is not about pretending life is perfect. It's about seeing life for what it is and still choosing to dominate. You don't need life to change. You need your mindset to upgrade. Once you fix that switch in your head, you will see doors that others swear don't exist. Mindset doesn't make life easier. It makes you stronger. Every time you hit snooze, you are negotiating with your potential. Every time you procrastinate, you are cutting a deal with mediocrity. Goals are not open for debate. They require full commitment, not partial interest. The minute you start making excuses, you have already lost ground. You said you wanted to be successful. But the moment it gets uncomfortable, you start bargaining. You start telling yourself you will do it later or start next week. That's negotiation. And every time you negotiate with laziness, laziness wins. Winners don't negotiate with their goals. They don't bargain with their standards. They set the bar and they meet it no matter what. It's not up for discussion. It's a decision carved in stone. You need to adopt a mindset where your goals become non-negotiable appointments. You wouldn't cancel on a VIP meeting, right? Then why do you keep canceling on yourself? You are the most important meeting you will ever have. Every time you let yourself off the hook, you are sending a message to your brain that it's okay to be average. But when you hold the line, when you refuse to compromise, you are teaching yourself to operate at a higher level. Negotiation is for business deals, not for dreams. You don't haggle with your ambitions. You either pay the full price in discipline and hard work, or you walk away empty-handed. Lock in on your goals with the kind of focus that scares distractions. When you treat your goals as sacred, your actions will start reflecting that intensity. No discounts, no negotiations. Success is not interested in how tired you are. It doesn't care if you had a rough day, if you are overwhelmed, or if you are emotionally drained. Success operates on results, not emotions. The world is not going to pause and feel sorry for you. While you are sitting in your feelings, someone else is out there grinding through theirs. Success pays the people who show up regardless of their emotional state. You can cry, you can complain, but after that, you have still got to get up and do the work. You think champions don't get frustrated? You think successful people don't have bad days? The difference is they don't let those feelings dictate their actions. They feel the same doubts, the same fears, the same fatigue, but they move anyway. Success is attracted to action, not emotion. Your feelings are valid, but they are not an excuse. If you allow every emotional swing to control your consistency, you will stay trapped in the same cycle. Success is cold. It rewards discipline, not pity. You don't get points for intentions. You get results from execution. The world doesn't hand out medals for being almost committed. You either get it done or you don't. Most people are waiting to feel right before they act, but that moment rarely comes. You will never consistently feel like pushing through discomfort. You must learn to perform regardless of your internal state. Successful people build routines that function whether they are motivated or not. They understand that feelings are unpredictable, but systems are reliable. Success respects grind, not mood swings. It's the days when you are exhausted, when you are doubting yourself, when you are tempted to quit. That's when you separate yourself. Anyone can show up when they feel amazing, but it's those dark, gritty days where the real work happens. Success is built in the trenches of inconvenience. You have got to develop the emotional toughness to act despite discomfort. Life doesn't get easier, you get stronger. You have to learn to detach from your feelings and stay married to your commitments. The scoreboard doesn't track your emotions, it tracks your actions. It doesn't matter how you feel, it matters what you do with those feelings. Every time you act despite your emotions, you are building mental armor. You are training yourself to perform under pressure, under fatigue, under doubt. That's where true confidence comes from. Not from hyped up moments, but from consistently proving to yourself that feelings don't own you. Success responds to that kind of internal power. Every action you take is casting a silent vote for the person you are becoming. Every time you choose to hit snooze, you are voting for laziness. Every time you show up and get the work done, even when you don't feel like it, you are voting for discipline. The future you isn't built by one big decision. It's crafted by thousands of small votes you cast daily through your habits. People think their identity is fixed, that who they are is permanent. That's a lie. You are shaping who you are every day, one choice at a time. You don't become disciplined overnight. You vote for it every morning you wake up on time. You don't become successful by accident. You vote for it with every task you complete, no matter how small it feels in the moment. You are not your goals, you are your habits. Goals are just targets on a wall. Habits are the arrows you fire every single day. You can set all the goals you want, but if your daily habits aren't aligned with them, you are just wasting breath. Your habits are the proof of how serious you are about the person you claim you want to become. Habits don't lie. They expose your real priorities. You say you want to be fit, but do your habits vote for that? You say you want to build a business, but do your daily actions cast votes for that identity? The scoreboard doesn't care about your intentions. It tallies your actions. You are building or breaking yourself with every routine you repeat. The powerful thing is you don't need massive changes overnight. You just need to start shifting the votes. Every time you make a better choice, you cast a positive vote. It's not about perfection. It's about voting for progress. Even when you slip up, the next habit is another chance to vote. You are always one decision away from getting back on track. Your habits create your default setting. If you build strong habits, success becomes your automatic response, not a forced effort. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. The grind becomes easier when your habits are aligned because you are no longer relying on motivation to push you forward. Every time you choose the hard right over the easy wrong, you are adding another brick to the identity you are building. You are not just completing tasks, you are voting to become the person who does hard things. Every vote counts, every habit matters. You are shaping your future with the actions you repeat when nobody is watching. Everybody has goals. Setting goals is easy. You can write them down in a fancy notebook, put them on a vision board, or speak them into existence all day long. But none of that creates results. Goals are just ideas floating in your head until discipline steps in and builds the bridge to bring them into reality. Without discipline, your goals are just wishes with no backbone. Discipline is what connects where you are to where you want to be. It's the painful, repetitive, and often boring process that turns goals into achievements. It's waking up when you don't feel like it. It's sticking to the plan when distractions are screaming your name. The bridge of discipline isn't glamorous. It's built with sweat, sacrifice, and daily grind. Most people set goals with excitement, but abandon them when the grind begins. They think motivation will carry them across the finish line, but motivation is temporary. It fizzles out. Discipline is what keeps you moving when the initial hype has long disappeared. It doesn't care if the journey feels long. It only cares that you keep walking. Discipline is not about grand gestures. It's about small, consistent actions. It's choosing to work out when it's inconvenient. It's sticking to your financial plan when temptations hit. It's doing the unsexy, uncelebrated work day after day because you know that every step forward, no matter how small, is building that bridge toward your goals. You can't skip the discipline phase and expect results. You can't jump from dreaming to achieving without paying the toll in discipline. The bridge doesn't build itself. Every day you decide whether to lay another plank or tear it down with excuses. Every action is either strengthening or weakening that bridge. The beautiful thing about discipline is that it doesn't care how talented you are. You don't need to be the smartest, the fastest, or the most gifted. You just need to show up relentlessly. Discipline is the great equalizer. It closes the gap between you and people who may have more natural advantages because it rewards persistence over raw ability. When you finally cross that bridge and taste results, it won't be luck that got you there. It'll be the countless days of discipline where you showed up tired, uninspired, and unmotivated, but you showed up anyway. That's the price of entry. That's the grind nobody sees, but everybody respects when the results start aching louder than words. Talent is a blessing, but it's not enough. The world is full of talented people who never reach their potential because they lack the consistency to back it up. They show flashes of brilliance, but they don't have the endurance to stay in the game. Meanwhile, the person who keeps showing up, keeps grinding, keeps improving, will eventually surpass raw talent. Consistency is the tortoise that always beats the hare in the long run. You have seen it before. That person who seems to have all the gifts, but they only show up when they feel like it. They rely on talent to carry them, but talent without discipline is unreliable. On the other hand, the person who isn't as naturally gifted but shows up every single day, sharpening their craft, pushing their limits, will build momentum that talent can't match. Consistency builds something talent alone never will. Dependability. Consistency creates compound growth. It's not about huge leaps. It's about steady progress. Every rep in the gym, every late night study session, every early morning hustle, it adds up. It's not glamorous. It's not viral, but it's deadly effective. Talent might give you a head start, but consistency is what determines who finishes strong. The grind always exposes those who rely solely on natural ability. People often look at successful individuals and think they are the most talented in the room, but most of the time they are simply the ones who refuse to quit. They kept showing up when others got bored. They kept pushing when others got comfortable. Consistency builds a foundation so solid that it becomes unshakable. Talent gives you potential. Consistency turns that potential into power. Every time you choose to show up, even when you don't feel like it, you are stacking small wins. Those small wins don't seem like much day to day, but they build an unstoppable momentum over time. Consistency turns of rage effort into exceptional results. It's the quiet killer of excuses and the silent architect of mastery. Consistency is ruthless. It doesn't care how you feel. It demands action. It's the discipline of doing what needs to be done, even when the novelty is worn off. Talent is exciting, but consistency is dependable. The world doesn't reward potential. It rewards execution. Execution lives in consistency. The reason consistency outlasts talent is simple. Talent will take breaks. Consistency doesn't. Talent will have highs and lows, but consistency levels up steadily day after day. When the talented quit, the consistent are still grinding. When the talented get distracted, the consistent are still locked in. Over time, that gap widens until the consistent are so far ahead, talent can't catch up. Your mind is not neutral. It listens, it absorbs, it repeats. Whatever narrative you feed it daily, it starts to believe and act upon it. If you constantly tell yourself you are not good enough, your mind will accept that as truth and shape your actions to align with that belief. On the flip side, if you feed it power, confidence, and vision, it will elevate your actions to match that identity. Your mind is programmable, but you are the programmer. Most people don't realize they are feeding their minds junk every single day. They let negative thoughts run wild. They let self-doubt take over. They allow fear to narrate their internal dialogue. And the mind, being loyal, starts believing that's reality. It doesn't question you. It simply follows your lead. If you speak limitation, it will build walls. If you speak belief, it will open doors. The words you speak to yourself are seeds. Plant negativity, and you will harvest insecurity. Plant positivity, and you will grow confidence. The problem is people want a confident mindset without changing the garbage they feed their brain. Ends daily. You can't water weeds and expect flowers. Your internal environment will always reflect externally. Every time you doubt yourself and verbalize it, you are reinforcing a script that becomes harder to erase. But every time you affirm your capabilities, even when you don't feel like it, you are chiseling a new identity. It's not about lying to yourself. It's about reprogramming a mind that has been conditioned to think small. Speak it until you believe it, and then act on it until it becomes real. Your mind is a garden. The content you consume, the people you surround yourself with, the words you repeat internally, all of it is fertilizer. You can choose whether it's toxic or empowering. You can choose whether your mind becomes a battlefield of doubt or a powerhouse of belief. But you must be intentional. The mind won't guard itself. That's your job. Every thought is a vote. Every belief you entertain is a building block. The person who constantly thinks, I can't do this, is stacking bricks of defeat. The person who thinks, I will figure this out, is building pillars of resilience. The mind doesn't differentiate between reality and repetition. It believes what you tell it the most. Feed it weakness, and it will make you weak. Feed it strength. It will make you unstoppable. The most powerful transformation happens when you stop being casual with your thoughts and start treating them like weapons. Every time you speak belief into yourself, you sharpen a sword that cuts through excuses and fear. Every time you feed your mind discipline, you fortify your ability to stay locked in. Your mind is your battlefield, and victory starts with what you allow to echo in there. People think discipline is about massive sacrifices and life-changing commitments, but that's not where it begins. Discipline starts in the small, quiet moments that seem insignificant. It's making your bed in the morning when nobody's watching. It's choosing water over soda. It's finishing a task you said you would even when it's inconvenient. These small wins may not seem like much, but they are the building blocks of a disciplined life. Every time you keep a small promise to yourself, you are stacking evidence that you are a person of discipline. Those small victories build self-respect. You start seeing yourself differently. You begin to trust yourself more. Discipline isn't about giant leaps. It's about showing up for the tiny battles and refusing to lose them. Small wins stack into big momentum. The reason most people fail at discipline is that they aim too big too fast. They set unrealistic expectations, and when they fall short, they quit. But discipline isn't built through overwhelming goals. It's built through small, manageable actions that you conquer daily. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. You need to start stringing together a chain of small victories until discipline becomes part of who you are. Small wins create a shift in your identity. You start moving from I want to be disciplined to I am disciplined. That shift doesn't happen by chance. It happens because you keep proving to yourself through action that you are the kind of person who follows through. You build discipline in the micro decisions that nobody claps for but matter the most. When you rack up enough small wins, you develop momentum. Momentum is powerful because it eliminates the need for constant motivation. You no longer rely on hype to take action. It becomes automatic. The small wins you stacked create a habit loop. The actions become your new normal, and discipline stops feeling like a struggle and starts feeling like a standard. People underestimate how much control they have over their discipline. They think it's a personality trait you are either born with or not. But discipline is built through a series of daily choices. Every small win is a vote for the disciplined version of you. The more votes you cast, the more that identity takes over. You don't need to overhaul your life today. You need to win the next decision. Discipline is not a distant mountain you conquer in a day. It's a staircase you climb one small step at a time. Each step is a win. Each step builds belief. You start with something small and stack it. That's how you build the inner strength to tackle the bigger challenges down the line. Small wins are the training ground for bigger victories. Everybody wants the excitement of big wins, the adrenaline of breakthroughs, but nobody talks about the boring part of success. Consistency is not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's repetitive, routine, and often dull. That's why most people quit. They can't handle the monotony. But what they don't realize is that boredom is the gatekeeper to mastery. If you can embrace the boring, you will eventually achieve what others only dream about. Most people get hyped on day one, maybe even week one, but the moment the novelty wears off, they lose interest. They want every workout to feel epic, every business move to feel thrilling. But real progress happens in the days that feel the same. It's doing the same workout, making the same calls, practicing the same skills when the excitement is gone. That builds real power. Consistency isn't supposed to be entertaining. It's supposed to be effective. The people who win aren't the ones constantly seeking the next exciting thing. They are the ones who master the art of showing up and executing the basics over and over again without getting bored with complacency. Success isn't about fireworks. It's about bricklaying. The reason consistency is so effective is that most people won't stick with it. They will dabble, get distracted, and move on. But the few who endure the boredom separate themselves. They gain skills others abandon. They build endurance that others never develop. Consistency filters out the half-hearted and leaves only the relentless. Every time you push through a boring session, you are strengthening a muscle that most people neglect, mental endurance. You are training yourself to perform without external stimulation. That ability is rare. In a world addicted to instant gratification, being able to grind through the boring is a superpower. Consistency works because it compounds. The small, boring actions you repeat daily pile up quietly, creating a snowball of progress that eventually becomes unstoppable. You won't see immediate results. It won't feel rewarding at first. But over time, the accumulation of those boring reps turns into undeniable mastery. The real question isn't, can you start? It's, can you endure the boring? Can you keep showing up when it feels routine, when there's no applause, when nobody notices? That's where the gap is created. That's where the difference is made. Consistency is boring by design because it weeds out the people who aren't built for the long haul. Discipline is the ability to delay gratification. It's the art of saying no to what feels good now so you can say yes to what will feel great later. It's sacrificing the temporary comfort of hitting snooze for the permanent pride of staying committed. Every time you pick long-term growth over a quick hit of pleasure, you are investing in a version of yourself that's miles ahead of where you are today. The world is designed to tempt you with short-term pleasures, social media, junk food, mindless entertainment. It's all within arm's reach. It's easy. It's instant. But discipline is the refusal to be seduced by what's easy. It's understanding that every shortcut comes with a hidden price tag. Every time you choose discipline, you are buying into the future at the expense of now. The battle of discipline happens in the micro decisions. It's not just about the big moments. It's about the countless small ones where you choose focus over distraction, hustle over comfort, purpose over impulse. It's in those tiny everyday choices where discipline is either built or broken. Most people lose because they don't recognize how much power is in those small moments. Discipline is the voice that tells you this isn't about today. It reminds you that growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens in the spaces where you sacrifice what feels good for what's necessary. Every time you resist the urge to take the easy route, you are sharpening your edge. You are conditioning yourself to operate at a higher level. The reason most people never see their full potential is that they sell out for short-term pleasures. They trade future success for a few minutes of comfort. Discipline is refusing to make that trade. It's having the vision to see beyond the immediate and the strength to hold the line when temptation is calling. It's not that disciplined people don't feel the urge, they just choose to fight it. Discipline requires a mindset shift. You stop asking, what do I feel like doing right now? And start asking, what does my future self need me to do right now? That shift changes everything. It takes you from being reactive to proactive, from being controlled by impulses to taking control of your actions. Discipline isn't natural, it's intentional. Every act of discipline is a brick laid on the path to long-term growth. You are either building or demolishing that path with every decision. Pleasure feels good for a moment, but discipline builds a legacy. It's the foundation of every dream, every goal, every transformation. Choosing discipline isn't glamorous, but it's the decision that separates those who talk about success from those who achieve it. Our mindset is the lens through which you view everything in life. It can either confine you like a prison cell, or it can free you to soar higher than you ever imagined. The difference lies in the stories you tell yourself, the beliefs you hold, and the way you interpret every experience. A negative mindset locks you in a cage of doubt and fear, while a powerful mindset unlocks doors and creates opportunities. Many people don't realize that their greatest barrier is their mind. It's not a lack of resources or talent, it's the limitations they accept and the fears they nurture. When you believe you are not good enough, you don't even try. When you think success is only for others, you settle for less. That mindset becomes your prison, keeping you stuck in the same place year after year. But the good news is that the mindset is not permanent. You can change the way you think. You can rewrite your mental scripts and challenge the beliefs that hold you back. This is the first step to freedom. The moment you start shifting your mindset, you begin to tear down the walls of your prison and build a path toward your power. Your mindset is a choice you make every day. You can choose to see obstacles as roadblocks or as challenges to overcome. You can choose to view failures as proof that you are not cut out for it, or as lessons that bring you closer to mastery. Your mind is your most powerful weapon or your most dangerous enemy. It all depends on how you train it. Powerful people develop a mindset of resilience. They don't let setbacks define them. They see struggle as part of the process, not the end of the story. They embrace discomfort because they know growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. That mindset fuels their ability to keep pushing when others give up. It transforms challenges into fuel. Your mindset shapes your reality. If you wake up thinking you can't handle the day, your whole experience will align with that belief. If you wake up believing you are capable of greatness, your actions and results will reflect it. This is why mindset matters more than talent, resources, or luck. It's the foundation of everything you want to achieve. Breaking free from a limiting mindset is hard work, but it's worth it. It requires you to face your fears, challenge your doubts, and rewire your thoughts. But once you do, you unlock a level of power that propels you forward no matter what life throws at you. Your mindset will either be the cage that traps you or the wings that set you free. Success isn't a one-time moment of glory. It's not a trophy you win overnight or a random stroke of luck that suddenly changes your life. Success is a habit, a daily practice, a series of choices you make consistently over time. It's the repeated actions, the daily discipline, and the mindset you build that create the foundation for lasting achievement. Too many people chase quick wins. They want the big break, the viral moment, the instant recognition. But the truth is, those moments are rare and fleeting. What lasts is the daily grind. It's the habit of showing up, doing the work, learning from failures, and pushing forward even when no one's watching. That's how success becomes permanent, not accidental. Habits are powerful because they remove the need for constant motivation. When success is a habit, it becomes automatic. You don't have to convince yourself to do what's right every single time. The right actions become your default behavior. You build momentum that carries you forward, making it easier to keep winning day after day. People who build success as a habit don't rely on luck or external circumstances. They control what they can, their effort, their attitude, their role. They understand that greatness isn't about giant leaps, but consistent steps in the right direction. The compound effect of those steps adds up to results that look like magic to the outside world. Success as a habit means embracing the boring and the difficult. It means making choices that aren't always fun, but are necessary. It means grinding through failures, setbacks, and doubt without losing sight of the bigger picture. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You create it by consistently doing the right things. The key to building success as a habit is patience. Real change takes time. You won't see overnight miracles, but every small win counts. When you build success into your daily habits, you create a foundation so strong that when opportunity comes knocking, you are ready to open the door and walk through it. Habits are the building blocks of character and destiny. When you cultivate habits of excellence, persistence, and focus, success becomes inevitable. It's not a lucky break or a one-time event. It's the result of your daily habits stacking up day after day, year after year. If you want to break through, to rise above, you have to understand the formula. It's not some secret trick or magic pill. It's three simple words: consistency, discipline, and mindset. These are the pillars that hold up every success story. Ignore one and the whole thing collapses. Get all three right and you build an unstoppable force. Consistency is your foundation. It's the habit of showing up day after day no matter what. It's the steady drumbeat behind every big achievement. Without consistency, even the greatest ideas and plans fall apart because they lack follow through. You have to build momentum brick by brick through repeated action. Discipline is the bridge. It connects your goals to the results you want. It's doing the hard things when you don't feel like it. It's the